agree with Trump on that. He agrees with me. Because they've got articles. He's following Alex on coal. He's following Alex on guns. He's following Alex on borders. He's following Alex on the terms he uses in enemy media. And quite frankly, I thought back in one of my conversations with Trump, I said, they are your enemy, and they will never stop until you're destroyed, and they will never, never back off, and they will never make deals, and Hillary's going to double back on her deal, and she is not going to ever stop trying to set you up. They've got fifth columns inside. They're going to block your agenda 100%. So he says, very interesting, Alex. Hold on one moment. Comes back and goes, yeah, we think that's real interesting. Tell me more about that. Sure, I'll tell the media what we talked about. We talked about how you are the enemy. So if I take credit for one thing, it's introducing the term enemy media, because you are the enemy. And we had a show 2 years ago, several. In fact, we found the clip. I tweeted it out last week, where the listeners, we all had 2 hours of phone calls on what is the name of the media: the scum media, the whore media, the sellout media, the fake stream media, the sewer stream media, the dinosaur media, one of my terms, prostitutes, Gerald Celente term. And I said, you know what? They're the enemy. We got to find all those clips and put them together with Trump. Yes, but it isn't because Trump was under my mind control and it's some easily influenced person. He didn't even comment when I kept saying, they're the enemy. They're the enemy. He goes, yes, very interesting. Yes. And it's that he's so good, that he's so dialed in, and that now it's being said by the President of the United States, annihilating scum that's on CNN saying full-grown men should be with little girls in showers. I'm going to play that clip in a minute. I mean, of course it's the damn enemy. I mean, it's the screwball, control freak, crazy people enemy that wants to just run people always read about authoritarian regimes and how crazy they are. Ceausescu in Romania wouldn't give most of the country electricity but a few days a week, and would have the public beg him for it. But they would see his big city on a hill, the government district, lit up for miles with just bright lights and big strobe lights. And yeah, I have light and you don't. Oh, I have air conditioning in a car, you don't. Same Obama crap. Imagine being the type of scumbag with a spirit of hatred for humanity where you want to go tell Africans they can't have electricity, medicine, or cars. Basically is what he said. People are like, that's horrible. Absolutely. They get off on you not having something. You ever been around people that are totally jealous, total control freaks, absolutely hateful of everything you've got? Really good-looking people have experienced this, and a lot of times they become wicked and mean because everybody else is mean to them. But when you have a good-looking person that isn't, wicked and hateful, they're usually some of the nicest people you know, because they've gone through a lot of people being mean to them. And it's the same thing if you're good at sports or you're good at art or whatever. You think people are going to embrace you and love you, but haters going to hate. And that's the same deal. But Donald Trump, he's so confident. He's so proud. He feels so good. He's so honorable. He'll run over big, powerful kingpins and people, but he's not going to run over little people because he wants to give you a shot. Because Donald Trump doesn't need you to be down in the dirt for him to feel good about himself. He's got the best-looking wife and super smart and a great, smart, good-looking family and is successful and is honorable and has beat the establishment his whole life because they tried to keep his dad from building buildings in New York, and his dad, behind the scenes, did a lot of stuff. I've been looking into it all, where Trump really came from, kicking people's asses to get where they're at, behind the scenes. You think you just go into New York City in the 20s and 30s and 40s and do a lot of stuff like that when you got a German last name, you're not Italian, you're not Irish, you're not English? The truth is, the whole Trump family are a bunch of badasses, and they know what they're doing, and they have been through what you've been through, and they want to run the New World Order in the ground, and all you got to do is start backing them. And my family history is very, very similar. Good people that aren't looking to dominate people. But when thugs and scum and gangs want to start something, it's like a sheepdog, trained, born, bred to take you on and rip your political throats out. And now you're starting to feel it. Now you're running up against people that aren't scared of what you do, aren't scared of what happens to us, just as long as you get your head rammed in the concrete politically and learn that you're not going to pick on little people anymore while you claim you take care of them all day. I love the Democrats. Fought the Civil Rights Act, fought the end of slavery, fought everything, and they got Republicans blamed for doing it all. But you know what? The Republican Party's made of the same type of inbred elitist crap. They're racist too. That's why they're all in this together. And Donald Trump's not, ladies and gentlemen. So if you don't see that, and if you don't know that, you're an idiot. But Trump did see, I'm going to skip the break. Trump did see that killed our nationalism and taught us to say we even had borders was bad or racist. He had to invoke the right of saying we're allowed to have a country, we're allowed to be together, and we're allowed to have a culture and a system and a birthright. And that's all this is. Now, since I've been mentioning this, let me get to this clip first. I'll get to Cuomo, who wants your daughters to have men in the showers with them. Oh, yeah, you're a racist now. You're a bigot if you don't. Because little know-it-all pretty boy says so. What a piece of trash, in my view. Glenn Beck, Bannon's economic nationalism agenda is not conservative. It's dangerous. This is like saying, if you're against child molestation, you're dangerous. If you're against the plague, you're dangerous. If you're against getting the flu, you're dangerous. If you believe you should run your country and that your nation ought to be set up for the taxpayers to build a good culture for your country, if your country wants to help people, sometimes that's fine, but Congress votes on it. No. If you don't want foreign multinationals like TPP and the globalists and the communist Chinese buying up Hollywood, running your life, telling you who can be president, telling you what you can do, you're a bad person. And then Glenn Beck sits there in his chair. He comes on to look real cogitator, very, I'm very concerned about the nationalism. It's very dangerous of Bannon and Trump. But he's like saying, you having any effect over your lives, you running your own country, you being involved, a guy that just wants you to have the same power prices China has, the guy that doesn't want to screw you over, the guy that wants you to have jobs, that believes the country is actually constituted to be a country. They got us so far down globalism that here comes Glenn Beck, the little Judas goat, who was always the designate to be the fake conservative, to discredit things and to backstab and manipulate, because I was told, I was offered his job before he existed. 16, 17 years ago, I was approached, and they said, you're going to be the next Rush Limbaugh. You come right out of the thing. We've tested it. You're the best. $3 million. Then it was $10 million. I said, no. Beck, boom. Year later, everywhere. Glenn Beck. They went and found some shock jock, pro-abortion, anti-God. He'd call other hosts who's had a wife, had a miscarriage, and said, I'm so glad you had it. I mean, you talk, a guy that hated Christians would just shake with hate on air for him. And then he becomes a little milquetoast, creepy guy that knows everything. I mean, he's already defeated. He's already destroyed. He's already a joke. But people should just put that marcation line here that this is where a traitor politically is buried. Mark that spot. The plague lies there. The enemy. There's nothing worse. At least Melissa Harris Perry tells us who she is. At least Hillary tells us part of who she is. Not these people. At least the Pope says it disgusts me to hear about Europe being Christian and its roots open the gates to Islam. At least I'll give this Pope one. He will tell you how evil he is. He's less evil than people like Glenn Beck. That's hard to say. I guess it's kind of true. I just realized that. Fruit Loop must actually believe in what he's doing. Not with Beck. It's all just this snaky little octopus. Let me slither over and suck your culture out. So imagine reading this with a straight face. We have the video. It's very dangerous to believe your nation should be first or to have economic nationalism and actually have the engine of America be successful. That lifts the whole world. They want wages down globally, not ours up, forcing all the others up. That's how that, remember, guy made $10 million on his own. Ross Perot explained all that. Let me explain something. You open this up. It doesn't help those countries. Their wages lower, and so do ours. Suck and sound. It ends industrial buildup. You cannot do this with third world because there's no base there. They'll just build factories at ports, ship it off, lower our industrial base and cultural base, and they won't have any base as well. Pure exploitation by mega corporations. Lord knows what they'll do with all the money. Well, a big project to take over the planet. A breakaway civilization. It's like the Pentagon in the 80s would get caught with $700 toilet seats and $1,000 hammers, and it was going to black budget programs. Well, globalism is that. I mean, something like 80% of the wealth is siphoned off to 1%, and most of the 1% doesn't get it. It's, 11 or 12 zeros and then a 4-2. So almost all the wealth goes to a fraction of 1%, and then no one even knows what they're building because most of the yachts and houses and real estate doesn't even add up to 1/10 of it. I'll tell you what they're building, underground bases and some freaked out stuff. In a giant race to get immortality. Wouldn't you if you were some inbred globalist that didn't care about anybody and has no morals and sees everybody as slaves and owns slave factories in China like Apple? Apple's building some spaceship, thing, new campus. And that's just a metaphor for what they're already building for themselves. sucking humanity's blood, our ingenuity, our work, all the third worlds, all into this hidden thing they're constructing. And then I told you that 18 years ago, reading their own white papers. Now they're public admitting the entire plan. Oh, we're building a breakaway society. We're going to be gods. You won't even exist soon. You'll be like a roach we step on. Yeah, we're siphoning the money off of advanced secret stuff. Yeah, we got clones underground like Jones says. He's still crazy, though. Yeah, we're merging humans with animals. Been doing it for 30 years. Big deal. Shut up and watch NFL. And then alpha males that are left, that I guess the chemicals didn't get to, partly the radiation, we're just freaking out up and down with the species. Don't let them do this. It's not that we're even perfect. We just don't want to kill everybody. We love our ancestors and you. We're not out to get you. We're just here like Trump and myself and others are just like drudges the same way. Humanity, don't give up. Don't roll over. Don't die. Go look at the stars at night. Kiss your wife, your girlfriend. You know, go plant a garden. Spend time with your kids. Unplug from the TV. Don't have the smartphones. Or keep them away when you don't have to have them. They're powerful tools, but they're evil. They're things the globalists gave us for reasons of obvious control. And so what's their answer? Just make jokes about it. Where imagine how dumb they think CNN's audiences are. Limbeck's saying it's very dangerous to have a nation or to actually want to do things for your own country and to have national interest. The treason is to do something outside the national interest if you work for the government. I don't mind you switching sides and fighting for things you believe in if you want to go to China, Beck, but you don't. And he sits there like he's always on a toilet. He has this little face like he's constipated to look. It's like the character of like, he's the great thinker. He's really giving you something genuine because it's so ungenuine, direct globalist, Davos, Bilderberg crap. They used to say was secret 30 years ago or even 10 years ago, directly shoveled in your face by a rat. I mean, this is insane. Limbaugh's not perfect. I'm trying to hold him up because they're trying to bring him down. He's at least for America. Same thing with the other host. I'm not attacking Beck because I'm in competition with him. I was supposed to be him. Do you understand? That's why he wanted to destroy me, because you can't have a body snatcher, a doppelganger, always in mythology wants to get rid of the real thing. Well, guess what? God wins again, boy. You didn't get rid of the real me. Praise Jesus for that. So let's hear, this is what they came up with. Let's hear the creature that they dug up out of atheist, God-hating abortion radio. And let's hear what he has to say.
Did you learn anything about him?
Oh, I'm sorry, back it up. With a guy from the CIA admittedly interviewing him, and then they write articles saying I'm crazy, Anderson Cooper's not with the CIA, when it's been known that this guy's worth hundreds of billions of dollars, one of the richest people in the world. His family goes back 500 years into Europe. He's involved in everything evil you can imagine, and he's above CIA, and they have to admit later he is CIA. But let's just hear from one of the vampires interviewing his little minion, this little gremlin. Beck's not even a goblin. He's a gremlin. Here we go.
Did you learn anything about him that surprised you, or did it confirm what you've already believed about him?
No, it confirmed what I already believed. What is frightening to me is the lack of reaction from the crowd at CPAC.
Yeah, back it up. I'm sorry. Oh, my God, the lack of reaction. I mean, he talked about nationalism and having an economy and doing trade deals that are good for Americans. I mean, next he'll say, like, make your kids eggs in the morning and make them orange juice and then walk them across the street to the school bus. I mean, next Trump will say that families exist. I mean, you heard Cuomo earlier. If we don't let grown men in the showers with our daughters, we're hateful. I mean, I'm sorry, back at the beginning. I mean, just because I want to see that constipated look again. Here, I'm split screen. Here we go.
Learn anything about him that surprised you, or did it confirm what you've already believed about him?
No, it confirmed what I already believed. What is frightening to me is the lack of reaction from the crowd.
Yeah, he's like, where's the spot where he's like he's constipated on the screenshot? Like back at the beginning of the video. Because it's so funny how he acts all constipated. But there's a CIA idiot that preying on everybody, literally. But I mean, let's go back to this. What's funny to me, it's all calculated. Everything's been written beforehand. He scripts with actors and hops around, big candy ass. I'm talking about Beck. And sits there, because they hate humanity so much, he can't even go out and, again, have a woman or procreate. It's just this whole thing, bringing down humanity. And at every level, I'm not saying you're bad if you're gay. I'm just saying with them, it's all like that because it's like don't have children because it's like an act of war against humanity. And he's sitting there, and he's talking about, oh, I'm so scared. I'm so scared. He's like, so everybody's supposed to be scared now. Here's the Judas goat, the good conservative who thinks you're so dumb. Here it is.
Learn anything about him that surprised you, or did it confirm what you've already believed about him?
No, it confirmed what I already believed.
Confirmed.
What is frightening to me is the lack of reaction from the crowd at CPAC. He dropped economic nationalism 2 or 3 times during that. He talked about
pause, back it up again. Not at the start right there. They always act like we caught Jones saying rape J-Lo. No, I said she better not go to Somalia where she'll get raped. Why she want a bunch of unvetted Somalis here? Very clear what I said. She doesn't want to get raped, so she shouldn't be for this. Same deal. They'll say, you know, all these things. So again, this is all part of their deception. It's all part of their manipulation. It's all part of how they take things out of context and also act like they caught Trump in something big. He said it 3 times. Like, ooh, we caught him in a big televised speech doing something secret. We have the moral high ground. Here it is.
Nationalism a lot. I don't know what Steve Bannon's plan is after he would burn down the system, but he has talked repeatedly about burning the system down to the ground.
The globalist system is set on top of our republic, feeding off of it, extracting the wealth out of the nation to build this global government project. So, of course, we need to get rid of it all. It's cancer, and you've already been burned to the ground. So is CNN politically. Everyone hates you, but the dumbest people. Look how pathetic he feels. He is such an arrogant piece of garbage. Let's finish the clip.
That's not good. No conservative would be for that. We are for conserving the Constitution of the United States.
Back this up. This is too sweet. See, no conservative would want to burn everything down. He means the globalist system. No conservative would want to get rid of federal agencies that run the states and are illegal and unconstitutional. No conservative. We want to conserve all the tyranny and teaching kids how to give blowjobs at age 5 and you know, telling kids they should have grown men in the showers with them. I mean, we need to conserve all the forced inoculations. We need to conserve the glyphosate in the water and conserve the GMO and conserve the chemtrails and conserve the open borders and conserve the leprosy coming in and conserve funding radical Islam and keeping the borders open in Europe. And just conserve everything collapsing and conserve high taxes on poor people and conserve and conserve and conserve our great evil new world order. One world government. Oh, it's so horrible. He said the nation state. We can't allow it. It's pure evil. Oh my God, it's so horrible. Ah!